is up, everybody? Welcome to George Reviews. I am your host, the 80s Transformers fan. Today on George Reviews, we'll be taking a look at a long overdue figure for me. I got this figure almost a year ago. I think I had some major surgery last year. This thing came in the mail. I was happy to have it by my side, just knowing I got it after a long wait. And almost a year later, here I'm trying to review it. I'm trying to get this toy out so I can put him in my Thunder Tank review. Spoiler alert. But if you get these figures from Super 7, they come in a box, and inside the box is the brown mailer, and inside that box is the actual figure box with a black slip cover right here with the metallic lion logo on it. It says Thundercats Super 7 ages 14 and up, and Thundercats on the back. And removing the slip cover, it reveals Tygra in the window box packaging. And this is an awesome packaging for mint box collectors. You can display it on the shelf. You can see everything within. You see the figure minus his feet. You can see the different whips he has in the background. He has the plastic whip. He has the cloth whip. And he has a retracted staff-like stick baton sort of whip. He has an angry head. And he has two interchangeable hands behind him. And not only is this good for mint and box collectors, but if you open it, you can reseal it right back into the exact same clam and store it on your shelf the exact same way after you open it. And on the back of Tygra's packaging, it says Super 7, and there is some new artwork for Tygra. It looks to be done by a paintbrush, but I think it's a CGI render trying to convince us that it's done via paintbrush. But it looks good. It's like an aggressive looking Tygra cracking his whip, and we get a little bit of a I can't remember. I haven't opened one in a while. Is it taped? Okay, it is taped at the top right here. So we'll enter the package right here. This is what's known as the unboxing portion. Love to unbox. Get this guy up. I don't want to damage the packaging, so I can reseal it. And there's nothing further in the box right there. Okay, now for the star of the review. Here's Tygra. There's two pieces of clam. He's not covered in the front, so he's not technically in the clam shell, but two half of clams. And let's get the figure, the main figure out. I love this orange. He looks great. Can't believe I didn't get around and getting him out of the package sooner. Let's bring him for a close-up real quick. And I do believe he's one of the last ones that got made off the Masters of the Universe Classics body style. We'll put it to the test a little bit later. Tygra's secondary head and retracted bolo. Next up, we'll get his hands out. I don't see a fist at all. Got a few gripping hands. He's wearing gripping hands. And here's another set of gripping hands. And yet another set of, I guess this is a holding hand and this is like a clawing hand. Yeah, very similar. Then we have the plastic whip that snaked into the packaging. I almost got ahead of myself and just ripped it out. I could have damaged the whip. So if you don't have one of these already, be careful taking this thing out. And the little bolos are, wow, maybe one at a time. If I can get one out at a time. Yep. There we go, got one out at a time. And now for the cloth or soft goods whip, which is whipped around in here, and you don't want to mess this up taking it out. They kind of want you to destroy the packaging or have an accident here. Alright, and we got to get these things. Man, this is very securely packaged here. Overly so. Got to thread the needle. Get it out. And one more time. Alright, and with that, this concludes the unboxing portion of the review. Alright, here's everything out of the package. And before I start talking about Tygra, I just want to take a look at these hands real quick. And when I tell you they are so similar, I mean, they're different. You can see they're different. But at the same time, they're so close. Like you have the same type gripping hand that he's packaged with. He's packaged with two like hands to hold his weaponry, and then you get two more like style hands to hold his weaponry. I think maybe they changed. They have the up and down hinge right here on this one, but like how much of a difference does that make really? But I guess I'm about to find out. And I just wanted to show this off just in case I don't interchange these hands, in case it becomes pointless in the review. But you got two standard hinges on the more open palms, and then on the two gripping left-right hands, you have the up and down hinge. So here's our Tygra, and his outfit, it kind of looks dirty with the colors they use. It looks dingy. He actually has a wash on him to sort of highlight the outfit, but the little bit of a wash like down the center of his back, and he has some like spotting on his butt. I don't think that's an accident. I think they put that on here, and it kind of makes him look dingy, especially with like the close but different colors of blue they put on him. Like on the front, they're supposed to highlight his abs right here, but again, it makes him look dingy, and that's the last time I'm gonna say it, I promise. I got a little bit of splotching right here. I don't know if that's in the plastic or whatever. That's from his black tiger stripes. I don't know. Well, it's no big deal, but just pointing it out. So let's take a look at Tygra's face. I always want to start with the face before we get into it. Nice stern face. In fact, he looks to have a hint of a smile. But it looks good. The whole head is orange plastic. Orange is my favorite color, by the way. So this figure is not going to be a fail no matter what. I love the color orange. The striping is painted on, not molded in, but he has molded in here into the sculpt, and the white is just painted on the lower half of his head, of his hair or whatever, and it looks pretty good. Has a little bit of tuft of hair coming around to the sides, like tigers do. His eyes are well painted. The Thundercats symbol on his chest looks good. He almost looks like he has a coin just jutting out of his chest the way it's made right here. But it looks good. And again, I think this is I know the arms are, and I think this whole buck is the style from the Master of the Universe Classics toy line. Oh, these trunks are new. They don't come all the way around. There's a little space underneath there. And I believe these are his own unique original bare feet, clawed feet. Kind of skipped a little top. I would say boots, but I don't even know what these are. Leg warmers with a little gold piece right there. I don't know what is he wearing. I don't know what this is. It's like ballet stockings or something like that. He has some writing right there, which my eyes can't see. So let's take a look at Tygra's articulation real quick. Oh, he's not looking up at all. This hair back here it's a no-go. And we just got a smidgen down. That kind of sucks. Not much up and down. When you had this guy look up, you got to rear him. Ooh, nice cracking of the paint. You got to rear him back like this to look up. Like, what's going on? Right there. Let's see. His head will get a full 360. We got any side to side? No. Very minimum articulation in his head. If you ever owned a Master Universe Classics figure, you know what we're going to get out of this arm right here. And it appears that this little piece of armor or arm is painted when they should have casted this whole bicep in this color so we don't rub it off doing this. Because you can always see some imperfections right here or whatever, but it seems like that's going to rub. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it looks like it's rubbed a little bit right there since I've been doing it. Yeah, clearly. That sucks. But we can get his arms up this far. We can get it to rotate, which is probably going to be another problem, another source of rubbing, like a 360 rubbing right there. He has a bicep swivel right there, elbow bend. Again, same as Master of the Universe. He has some straps right here on his arm, which is cool. And I do believe this bottom half of his arm is orange plastic, and I think that's a good idea for him to do that, even though like the straps has some imperfections right there. But the black stripes look good. Coming down to his hand, he has a wrist hinge right here along this much movement, which is pretty good. 360, and then he has these clawed fingers at the end of his hand with the thumb, and it is a gripping hand. And his hands feel softer than most and shouldn't have any problem getting a weapon in there. His abdominal crunch forward. Backward, not a whole lot back, but you can kind of rear him back to get him to look up. And as far as his waist swivel, he has a waist cut right here. It's pretty well hidden. And fully 360 right there. His legs, and I'm pretty sure this little loincloth or leotard piece, whatever the hell he's wearing, it's going to hinder his kicking forward. And it really does. See if I can pull it up some and get some more out of it. for photos or whatever. He's really hindered. Let's see to the back. You can pull it up in the back, see if we get more. So articulation is there, but it's severely hindered by this little piece. And it's soft. It's just the way it comes down. It has to form fit to look like trunks. Yeah, that just didn't come out that well. And he has a thigh swivel right here. 360, that was tough. A knee bend, and he really doesn't get a lot out of it as much as I would want. You know, like the Thundercats are like fighters and like martial artists, and Tygra is one of their best fighters, and like all right, now this is very interesting because this guy actually like rotates at the knee right here, and I want to say at 360s. Then there's a secondary articulation at the upper calf and allows that to 360. What that is all about, I have no clue. It's interesting, weird. I mean, I'm happy they added some extra articulation, but how much use are we actually going to get out of that? Those 2 points of articulation right there. That's all we get. And his foot, we get the front, and I don't know how much back. Yeah, okay, we got some back, and I know it will rock. So we have that. So, but the waist area is really hindered, and we have hindrance in the head as far as him looking up, which is kind of not character. But on the cartoon, this guy, like, he had like the lowest intelligence ever. It was like, why did they write him this way? Like one time, I think he walked into a cave not knowing that he would age or something, and I was kind of like goofy. It's like they should have had the Thunder Kittens do something like that or whatever. Wily Kit, Wily Cat. And they continued to have him dumb him down on episodes. Another episode, he flew through a meteor shower or something, and they told him not to. He knew he wasn't supposed to. And then yet another episode, they had this guy hooked on drugs. And again, it was like, oh, they should have used somebody else. Like, why did they keep dumbing him down? And then when you so we are going to go with his weapons. The harder plastic bolo. You know what? Let's take a closer look. We have gold plastic. I'm assuming this is just paint on the same blue plastic piece. It has the 3 balls at the end of the whip. So let's get this thing in his hand. And he holds it securely. So we can get it up. All right, try to get him open his legs. I'm giving him a little bit of a combat stance and get this thing all in the picture. And the thing is, with the lack of his head articulation and the leg articulation, trying to get him to crouch and do some posing is kind of like, eh. Okay, I tried posing this guy around. I'm pretty much wound up with the exact same pose. When you crouch him, it lowers him. And then his head won't look up. So he's looking at the ground. He's fighting like the sand and dirt or whatever is around. Like, I see you down there. I see you. But just not being able to get his head up. Hopefully the alternate head, I don't know, can give us a little bit more articulation, but this is what we got with the whip. I guess it gets the job done. And while I didn't have the original Tygra from LJN, I'm pretty sure this is a much better toy. I'm fairly certain. Moving on to the fabric soft goods whip. Again, we got the gold handle painted over. I don't think this is plastic, casted in this plastic, and it's fairly long. Let me see if I can get it all in. It's fairly long. Let's see. You know, I never break out the tape measure, but it's time to go full geek. Let me see where we at. It's about 18.5 inches long. And since we put the last one in the right hand, we'll stick this one in his left hand. I'm pretty sure you can get a lot more out of this one as far as wrapping around this guy and turning invisible. Speaking of invisible, I got to get the invisible one. I don't have that one, so it won't be making an appearance in the video. But, sort of, kind of, maybe, a little bit. Maybe I just didn't do it right. I'm sure I've seen it done, where it, like, wraps around him. Get it off! Get it off! And like I said, I'm sure, there we go, that's close enough. And he can turn himself invisible. Okay, as I'm removing weapons, getting ready for the next segment, I noticed paint chipping on my fingers. I think it's coming from like here in the elbow, which I don't think I have a problem with. Like right here, you can still see Some paint flaking off right there. I don't have a problem with that. But I just wanted to note it in the review. Alright, now I want to switch his hands. And I don't know which set goes with which. They kind of the same, and I kind of mixed them up a little bit. But this one has the up and down articulation in it. So I'm going to pop these off. Comes out fairly easy enough. Try to keep these together. Pop these in. No problem there. I guess these are 2 up and down gripping hands. Alright, this one want to be stubborn. There we go. Boom. Just didn't push hard enough. So we're going to get... Oh, wait. You know what? Let's go for this. I didn't even pull out the retracted bolo. And oddly enough, he doesn't have any place to store the retracted bolo, which kind of sucks. I would have liked to have put it somewhere on his person. But the bolos is just one solid piece. The little balls at the top painted red and a little bit of overpaint underneath there on the gold stick. I really hope this is a gold stick, but I'm pretty sure it's paint. It actually feels thicker than the other ones. Maybe it might just be in my head. And we can get some up and down. Motion out of these, both sides. And there's that paint again. So these are the same hands with an up and down grip as opposed to an in and out. And my thing is, they could have gave us another accessory and dropped a set of these hands. You could have had one up and down and then one in and out. Because these are essentially the same hands with different wrist articulation. And I just didn't need all of that. And here are the open clawing hands. I'm just going to pop these on. Okay, while I was popping these hands on, I encountered even more paint coming off of this guy. I can't see like the real damage. I think it's coming out of the elbow joints. And again, if that's the case, I'm fine with it. And these wrists articulate in and out. Tygra can pounce like a tiger. Urgh. Tygra looks good and functions well except for that waist and that head articulation. Speaking of head, let's pop this off. And normally, like some of these Super 7 figures, you have to heat up. But let's see what I can do with this guy. Oh, that sounded weird in it. I think I sort of cracked the neck a little bit right there. Maybe I should have heated it up, but I'm all type of stubborn like that. It's a little bit better. And here's this angry face. I won't let you get away with this Frieza. Oh, wait, wrong property. And it's inside of the head. Let's see if we can just popped on. And I don't think we're going to have any more articulation. If they're going to have interchangeable heads that only difference is the expression on their face, they need to take a page from SH Figure Arts and just have an interchangeable faceplate. Save them some plastic and save us some money. Because this looks like, and if you weren't going to wind sweep the hair or swept the hair and paint it all the exact same way, and when it's like no difference other than just the anger in his face, they could have just had a faceplate. And I could have spent like maybe $5 less. I don't know the cost of these production things, but there we go. And he looks down no better, looks up no better. Full 360, and there's zero side to side. He just goes from angry to normal expression. Like, okay, it's time to size Tygra up and run him down. But before I get deep into the size up and run down, I just want to bring out Master of the Universe Classics figure. This is Ular. Basically He-Man before he was He-Man. And this is the basic body buck for all the Master of the Universe figures. And I just wanted to take a closer look at them and just confirm that this is still the Master of the Universe buck. I know they have stopped using it since, or in some of the newer figures, they went with their own bodies on these guys and ditched the Master of the Universe buck. But you can see this is a retool Master of the Universe body. Even though this one is pinless, the elbows and the ankles and the knees are pinless. They are both sporting the bare feet. These are not the same feet, although they are similar. Here's Tygra next to Marvel Legends Sabretooth. This is how he scales with the forces of evil with Super 7's Mumm-Ra and Slide. And last but not least, let's get our heroes out here. Here is Lion-O. You can see he's actually taller than Lion-O, especially at the shoulders. Lion-O's hair or mane makes him a little bit technically taller, but where his forehead stops and his shoulders stop, Tygra is definitely taller. Here is Panthro. I think Panthro may be the shortest out of the group, or he might be even with Lion-O with the exception of the hair. And here is Chitara. Put it right in front, and you can see he can see right over her head, or pretty much. Okay, I think this is a little bit better of a layout to get the height comparison going on. You can see exactly where these guys stand. All right, I'm going to regurgitate some of the same things I said with each and every Thundercat figure I've reviewed. This is probably the best Tygra Thundercat figure you are ever going to get, most likely. But having said that, it's not without its flaws. As far as action figures goes, the waist articulation is not good. He has some weird and kind of useless articulation at the knee and at the his shin, his calf area. Wish he had just better articulation. Then the overall look of the figure, while looking pretty much spot on like the cartoon, the outfit choice from the original figure and the original cartoon, not Super 7's fault, is just bland. He's my least favorite of the Thundercats that I purchased so far from Super 7. And again, not saying he's bad, he's just my least favorite. But who doesn't like a half human, half man tiger thing walking around? The orange looks good, the paint on his face looks good. He has a pretty good amount of accessories. I kind of wish he came with one of the treasures of Thundera to kind of make him a little bit more special. But there's nothing wrong with what's going on here. I got this guy over a year ago now. I've just decided to crack this guy open because I got the Thunder Tank review coming up next. So stay tuned for that. And that's all I got for you. I want to thank everybody for watching another episode of George Reviews. The reviews are every toy has a story.